Counter-Narrative News, bringing you a special series on the British monarchy as we go through this weekend of the so-called coronation. The first in the series, we'd like to share a short piece by Irish revolutionary James Connolly, an article entitled Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee from 1897. James Connolly is a very important global leading figure in the radical socialist and anti-colonial struggle, an Irish Republican socialist leader of the Easter 1916 uprising, which inspired anti-colonial forces all over the world, not least in the Caribbean, in India, and also in the leadership of the Bolshevik movement in Russia, which led the Bolshevik leader Lenin to be inspired by the example of the Easter uprising and James Connolly. To quote, "The great appear great to us only because we are on our knees. Let us rise. Fellow workers, the loyal subjects of Queen Victoria, Queen of Great Britain and Ireland, Empress of India, etc., celebrate this year the longest reign on record. Already the air is laden with rumours of preparations for a wholesale manufacture of sham popular rejoicings at this glorious commemoration. Home Rule orators and nationalist Lord Mayors, Whig politicians and Parnellite pressmen have here now lent their prestige and influence to the attempt to arouse public interest in the sickening details of this feast of flunkyism. It is time, then, that some organised party in Ireland, other those in those mouths patriotism means compromise and freedom high dividends, should speak out bravely and honestly the sentiments awakened in the breast of every lover of freedom by this ghastly farce now being played out before our eyes. Hence, the Irish Socialist Republican Party, which from its inception has never hesitated to proclaim its unswerving hostility to the British Crown and to the political and social order of which in these islands that crown is but the symbol, takes the opportunity of hurling at the heads of all courtly murmurs who grovel at the shrine of royalty the contempt and hatred of the Irish revolutionary democracy. We, at least, are not loyal men. We confess to having more respect and honour for the raggedest child of the poorest labourer in Ireland today than for any, even the most virtuous descendant of the long array of murderers, adulterers and madmen who have sat upon the throne of England. During the glorious reign, Ireland has seen 1,225,000 of her children die of famine, starved to death, while the produce of her soil and their labour was eaten up by a vulture aristocracy, enforcing their rents by the bayonets of a hired assassin army. In the payoff, the best of English queens, the eviction of 3,668,000, a multitude greater than the entire population of Switzerland, and the reluctant emigration of 4,186,000 of our kindred, a greater host than the entire people of Greece. At the present moment, 78% of our wage earners receive less than £1 per week. Our streets are thronged by starving crowds of the unemployed. Cattle graze on our tenantless farms and around the ruins of our battered homesteads. Our ports are crowded with departing emigrants, and our poorhouses are full of paupers. Such are the constituent elements of which we are bade to construct a national festival of rejoicing. Working class of Ireland, we appeal to you not to allow your opinions to be misrepresented on this occasion. Join your voice with ours in protesting against the base assumption that we owe to this empire any other debt than that of hatred of all its plundering institutions. Let this year be indeed a memorable one, as marking the date when the Irish workers at last flung off that slavish dependence on the lead of the gentry which has paralysed the arm of every soldier of freedom in the past. The Irish landlords, now as ever the enemy's garrison, instinctively support every institution which, like monarchy, degrades the manhood of the people and weakens the moral fibre of the oppressed. The middle class, absorbed in the pursuit of gold, have pawned their souls for the prostitute glories of commercialism and remain openly or secretly hostile to every movement which would imperil the sanctity of their dividends. The working class alone have nothing to hope for save in a revolutionary reconstruction of society prosperity. They and they alone are capable of that revolutionary initiative which, with all the political and economic development of the time to aid it, can carry us forward into the promised land of perfect freedom, the reward of the age-long travail of the people. To you, workers of Ireland, we addressed ourselves: agitate in the workshop, in the field, in the factory, until you arouse your brothers to hatred of the slavery of which we are all victims. Educate, that the people may no longer be deluded by illusory hopes of prosperity under any system of society of which monarchs or noblemen, capitalists or landlords form an integral part. Organize that a solid, compact and intelligent force, conscious of your historic mission as a class, you may seize the reins of political power whenever possible, and by intelligent application of the working class ballot, clear the field of action for revolutionary forces of the future. Let the canting fed classes, bow the knee as they may, be true to your own manhood and to the cause of freedom, whose hope is in you, and pressing unweariedly onward in pursuit of the high destiny to which the Socialist Republic invites you. Let the words which the poet puts into the mouth of Mazeppa console you amid the orgies of the tyrants of today. By the time at last makes all things even, and if we do but watch the hour, there never yet was human power that could evade, if unforgiven, the patient hate and vigil long of those who treasure up a wrong. End of quote. Many thanks.